And now you're live to go ahead with the governor's statement.
Okay,
All
great.
right.
Thank you.
I'm going to call the meeting to order, and pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12th, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the, I'm not going to move that, open meeting law GLC 30A squiggly 18 and the governor's March 15th, 2020 order imposing strict limitations on the number of people that may gather in one place. This meeting of the Southborough Housing Authority will be conducted via remote participation to the greatest extent possible. Specific information and the general guidelines for the remote participation by members of the public and or parties with a right and or requirement to attend this meeting can be found on the Town of Southborough's website at https www.southboroughtown.com. Okay. A minute, can't read this. James, we need a report from you. Hello, James.
I'm sorry. You need a what?
Well, you're up.
I'm up.
You
That
are.
was quick.
Yep.
So I'm assuming everyone has a copy of the budget.
Yep.
Yep, I sent them all a copy.
So I'll just quickly go over the narrative that was attached, and then we'll just blow through some of the pages. So this is the fiscal year 2021 budget, effective 10/1/2020, running through September 2021. The administrative salaries are as follows. The executive director did not receive a raise as part of this budget, as her current salary is above the ED salary schedule provided by DHCD, therefore no raise is allowed. The part-time position has been increased by 3% as compared to the prior year. This is allowed under the current 2021 DHCD budget guidelines. Maintenance salaries are budgeted at the effective rate as of April 2020, as we know. These rates will change effective April 1st, 2021. The fiscal year 2021 budget has a 4% decrease in the allowable non-utility expense level as required by DHCD budget guidelines. As a result of the reduction in this budgeted cost, we had to use $22,000 roughly in reserves to make the budget balance to what we expect the costs to be. So with that said, the expected reserves of the 400 program at the end of this fiscal year, budgeted fiscal year, will be $165,000, which is roughly 85% of full reserves. So there's still healthy reserves. Are there any questions, comments?
I just have a procedural question. I noticed this needs signatures. Now, I can set it up if people want to give me the appropriate email addresses for us to do e-signatures, if that would work.
I have been informed by others, and maybe Lynn can check with her person at DHCD, that DHCD has waived the signature part of the certifications this year due to the current pandemic. And that's all. And what's all is required is a copy of the board minutes with the approvals. Don't quote me on that though, Lynn. That's what I've heard from others. If you just want to reach out and see if DHCD will do that. I don't want to point you in the wrong direction and then have you not do it and then tell you should have done it. So, but I've heard that from others in the industry.
Either way, if Lynn wants to send me a list of addresses for each of the people to sign it, I can do e-signatures for
Yeah, or other than that, I don't have a problem with everybody just signing the page that I gave them and, you know, scanning it to me, and then I still, you know, even though it's on separate pages, I'll still have everybody's signature. But thank you, Alex. I'll check it out and see.
That's fine. I don't care if you have my email.
So, okay.
I don't think you're going to sell it to anybody because it's not worth anything.
Yeah. Lynn, that's what I've been telling everybody until what I heard recently. I just told everyone to have the board members sign each page individually and then just upload all the 6 or 7 individual
Yeah, I
pages.
think that's what I did when we did the, you know.
Revision, right?
The revision, yeah, the
Right.
revision, which is what I think.
Because I was uninformed that that's what supposedly
Yeah.
that's what DHCD told
Yeah, because
somebody.
generally they're sticklers about the signatures, you know?
I know.
Yeah, so, so when you said that you had to take 22,214 from reserves, then you took it from the total reserves, but it still leaves us a reserve of 84%?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And
Howie's done that. It's the
Yeah.
same thing Howie's done for years. It's just a little higher than normal because we had a 4% decrease in the allowable non-utility limit. In the
okay,
past, Howie's taken somewhere between 11,000 and 15,000 each year.
okay,
But you lost with the 4% decrease in the allowable non-utility expense level, you lost $9,000.
so what, do you know, what makes them like decide about the non-utility expense level, whether they're gonna, like, do you have any idea? I'm just curious, what makes them
Why it went down
decide?
4%?
Yeah, what makes them decide on a decrease like that?
It's based on what they expect the funding to be from the governor. And they've already been told it's flat funded. So because it's flat funded and they think a lot of agencies are going to, because it's flat funded and because the subsidy on DHCD is based on rent minus actual utilities, they expect the rent to go down, utilities to go slightly up. Therefore, more agencies are going to need subsidy in larger amounts. So therefore, they can't afford, the pie's the same size, but more people are going to need a piece of that pie. So
Yeah.
they had to decrease it a little, some ways, to make sure everybody gets a piece of the pie.
When you say the rent's going to go down, you mean the rent we receive, not the rent we're paying, because we don't rent anything.
No, the tenant rent, correct. The
Okay, good.
expectation from DHCD is that during this period of the pandemic and further out, your rental income collected from tenants will be less than in a prior year. Therefore, you'll need more subsidy. It's the way the subsidy calculation works. So that's the expectation that DHCD had when they designed the budget guidelines.
Which probably in reality is more for larger housing authorities that have more family is really what, because the elderly rents aren't affected too much by.
No, I know that and you know that, but they,
Yeah, that's what I
but
was,
as you know,
yeah, that's what I was just explaining to Alex, just so that he understands, but there's a lot
right,
of, yeah,
the guidelines are based across the board. So,
Right.
right, the expectation is that the 705s and the 200 programs will see a decrease in the rents, whereas the 667, the elderlies will probably maintain the same rental.
yep.
Lynn, I don't know how Howie did it in the past. Did he go through every page or did he just explain the narratives? I mean, I'm more than welcome to do whatever he's done in the past.
Yeah, he's just kind of talked a little bit about what we have in there for, extras and things like that. Nothing, he didn't go through every single thing. Like you said.
Okay.
Kind of a summary of,
Oh, yeah, I guess we should mention, so as part of DHCD's funding for 2021, you're also getting $19,573 of additional subsidy from DHCD that Lynn and I have discussed. And this is COVID-19 related funding.
Yep.
DHCD is giving you these funds that have to be spent on expenses that were incurred from March 1st through December 31st of this year. So within this budget, as part of the non-routine expenses on 4610, we budgeted $19,573 worth of additional costs to offset the revenue DHCD is giving us, but it doesn't have to be additional costs. It's just, it's a line. We had to fill the line so that way they tie. So there's a public notice, as Lynn's aware of, that states what expenses qualify for these funds. Overtime, hazard pay, there's other things there. So I'm sure Lynn's working on this. You check with her on that, but that's an additional thing that's part of this budget this year.
Yeah, I did. I explained it a little bit to them last month about it, and I think I mentioned to you at some point that I was doing some re-cleaning, re-upping my community rooms.
Yes.
Like ripping out carpets and putting in flooring, as kind of saying that I'm using it to sort of clean and get a little bit germ-free, which is really what I'm trying to do. And a few things like that, but we're where we're small, Hi,
Yes,
James.
and those are eligible. Those are eligible expenses, yes.
Yeah. So I don't know. I have to get creative to think of some other ways to spend a little more money too.
So besides the COVID-19, within the non-routine, we've also have set aside funds for some more painting, floor and carpet replacement, and some appliances.
Yeah, we didn't put anything too major in there this year, which is good because we don't really need any equipment or anything like that. So that's a good thing.
Are there any questions?
Well, Lynn, you go over the money with us constantly every month, so this is
Yeah,
no
we're
surprise.
up to speed.
There we are.
Yeah, I think it's always good for you guys just to be able to, when it's a new budget and you have a
Sure.
new board member and whatever, to be able to direct any questions. I guess James, can you address a little bit? I've never really talked to the, I had taken for the first time this year, mod money. And
Yep.
so you're going to see that if you look on the salary sheet, I don't ever want there to be any surprises. You're going to see on my salary sheet that there's a $2,000. So the way that DHCD has things set up, and I've never really ever acted on it too much in the past, but I've been told that I can and I should. That when we do mod projects, whenever I do like a major project, such as when we did the Porterville Road, or we do roofs, or we do whatever, there's a certain line item in there that's called admin money, okay? And any part-time director, I always put in for the admin money, but I mostly just roll it back over all the time into our housing authority funds. But directors are allotted to take, they do consider that to be extra work. You are allowed to take some admin money or use it in ways that you think are beneficial or that compensate you for doing the extra stuff on the projects. Is that correct?
Yes.
Are you
Yes.
talking line 22?
Line 22. I don't know what you're looking at. I'm sorry.
It says there, line 22, administrative other, $2,030.
Oh, I see. 922. Oh, on page 3. Page.
Oh, no, that's the administrative cost for the 689 program.
Okay.
That's just the expected, their share of paper,
Mhm.
stuff like that. What Lynn's talking about is, you won't normally see it in the budget. What happens is that, as Lynn had said, as mod projects are done through DHCD's mod module and you get formula funding for it, what's now allowed by DHCD is that each project you're allowed to take up to 10% of the contract as an administrative fee for administrating the project. So if you were doing a medium-sized project with a contractor, let's say $75,000 for windows or siding, you're allowed to draw an additional $7,500 against that mod fish project, which can then be used to transfer into the 400 program or your state consolidated program to offset for the administration of the mod that that Lynn has done during the time for maybe other people's work or purchases you had to make, like paper, just stuff like that. But besides just dropping in the reserves of the 400, as Lynn had stated, for part-time executive directors, they can take a portion of that payment as a bonus or an offsetting of a salary, however you want to classify it, as long as everybody's okay with it. And that's what Lynn has done. It's all allowable. She hasn't done it in a while. And so, and as she said, some people in the industry take it all the time. I'm not saying that that's what should be done, but Lynn has certainly deserved, Lynn has taken some and it's not against the rules. That's what she's talking about.
And she didn't get a raise this year anyways, so.
Right. It's basically what happened, what you can look at it is it's free money. It's free money that goes into the 400 program, the state consolidated program, that can build up the reserves. So if you already have healthy reserves like you do, and you want to give your executive director a little, thank you, this and that, that's what it's doing. But most of the time, the money would just come into the 400 program and drop down under the reserves. This is the one case that Lynn. I'm sorry?
How much are we giving you, Lynn?
I had, over this whole past year, I only took $2,000. I've never
What
really,
budget that- It doesn't,
yeah, I've never, it comes in every project, I roll it over. So, and I actually, one of the RCAT people brought it to my attention and said, why do you never take, why
well,
do
it
you
makes
put
sense.
in?
Especially where they didn't adjust you up this year.
Yeah, so, but I just want to be, I want to be transparent about it. So,
I think we talked about this last year also.
yeah,
at the
and
budget last
like a
year.
total for that particular project, I think there was close to $5,000 in admin money. So I did the one time I took two of it and I rolled over the
Oh
other.
my word, too. What
Yes.
did you do with it?
So, so I just kind of wanted, because I never really, again, I just sort of roll it over and that kind of thing. But I just wanted to.
If you roll it over, does it leave Southborough and Northborough?
No, it just rolls back into our reserve. So they're
General
gonna,
reserve.
yeah. And actually you have to submit for it. They don't just give it to you. You have to,
Alex, you will get those granite counters.
so anyway, I just, thank you for clarifying that for me.
You're welcome, Lynn.
And, when I do, I just wanted to make it, so that everybody knows if from time to time I will run it by you. So there's no surprises, if that's okay.
I'm pretty sure we wouldn't oppose it. So we need a motion to accept the budget? Oh, does anyone have any discussion or questions for James? Wow, you guys are on the ball here.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for joining
Yeah,
us
I
and
don't
sharing with
think
us.
you guys ever met James. So James was partnered with Howie Gordon, who's now retired. And-
Yes, sitting on the beach.
Good
Is
for
it?
him.
I was gonna ask who you were, but I didn't want to be rude.
Yeah,
No, that's fine.
yeah, and yeah. so-
Sorry, Lynn, but while we're meeting through Zoom, we have to do roll call votes.
Yes.
Okay, right. Okay, we will, absolutely.
Right, we haven't
Okay,
done
good.
a vote yet.
Great.
Why don't I make a move that we accept it?
Second.
Seconded. Now we can do the roll call.
Those that are in favor, John,
Aye.
Alex,
Aye.
Nancy, yes. So all are in favor of accepting the budget.
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you,
Awesome.
James. You're dismissed if you want to be.
Nice to meet
Thank you.
All right, James, thanks.
If you
Talk
need
to
anything,
soon.
Lynn, let me know.
All
Thank
right, I
you.
will. Thank you.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.
We now move to review and approval of the minutes for last month.
I make a motion to accept the minutes as written.
Seconded.
John, do you approve?
I do. Aye.
Alex, do you
Approve.
approve?
Approve.
And Nancy approves, so all in favor. We need the report from the executive director.
Okay, so let's see. I have one vacant unit at Colonial Gardens. I do have an offer on it. I think that the person will take it. I have lots of eligible people, so I do have an offer on that.
Which unit is that?
7D. Tony is getting it ready as we speak. So the community room has been painted and new flooring installed. The flooring looks really nice. As on Friday, they're doing our office. We have the same carpet. They're gonna rip out the carpet in there and put in the flooring so that we get rid of all the germs and the. I would have liked to have done the entire building, but funding wise, I couldn't go over a certain dollar value without getting into bidding problems, but it did come out nice. So I'm gonna have to try to think of some other creative ways to spend COVID funds, but that was I think that's a good thing for the yep.
I assume over the years, it's going to be less expensive than carpeting because it doesn't wear out. My friend in Boston, the disabled gentleman I take responsibility for, his carpet, wheelchair just was destroying his carpet, and I asked him to put tile down there, and that was good. Geez, it's got to be 10, 15 years ago, and it's still fine. So it might, in the long run, be less expensive than having to put.
Yeah,
carpet
for
in
the
every
units.
time-
I know. You know, it's funny. I had at one point tried to consider doing because they're all carpeted, you know, at the time when I was showing them and when we were talking about, people didn't want them turned into flooring. They felt like the carpets were a sound barrier and
Well, normal carpets are, but I don't know about the ones we get.
yeah. So I mean, yeah, it might be a good idea to try it, and then you know, it is more costly, but like you said, the bottom line is we only have till December 31st to spend the money. So you know, I can't rip it out in units that people are in. So but I agree, it is kind of the way to go with the plank flooring. It's really nice.
I mean, that's the difference too. If it were the white tile squares, people might find it was cold. But
Yeah, which is what we
not
have.
like
Yeah,
wood.
yeah, it's a lot nicer and warmer. So definitely something to think about if we can price it out and see for the future. So anyway, working on that. And I met with the architect finally for the start of a kitchen project. So we did go into a unit and he's working on the plans now. We're going to start with 4 units when we start them, and he's working up the plans. We did talk about, like I said, it's going to be new cabinets and new countertops. You know, as you know, those kitchens are teeny. We did talk about maybe making one change, that where the stoves are and where the fan is, instead overhead, maybe being able to do a built-in microwave up there, which would alleviate people having to stick a microwave in the kitchen or on the counter. Not much space there to work with to do anything too creative, but
If we wanted to save space, it could be over. They could work it so that the vent over the stove is a little lower, and the microwave goes over the vent. Now, I don't know if, given the height of some of the people here, that would be a problem, but
shouldn't be, because it's not going to be super high. So that is going to be, and you know, that is something that he's going to work up in the plans to do that. And then, you know, there'll be a new sink put in, new counters and new cabinets. Like I said, I think we are going to try to start with 4 and then maybe see what the pricing comes in at and how it plays out.
you can, if you do any cooking, you can barely fit a pot in those sinks to clean them. So I don't know if there's any chance of the sinks being a couple of inches wider.
Yeah, you're just going to lose counter space though.
Yeah, I know.
So,
Mm,
You know, and even the stove spaces, the stoves are small, but there's not much, there's
No.
not much you can do.
The stoves actually work out. pretty
Yeah,
well.
right, for one person. So anyway, I'm kind of excited about that's happening. We also had started too, where we had talked about some of the front doors they're like, obviously they're all getting old, and so we're gonna replace 2 doors. We've been working on this for a while. In one of the buildings, they're fairly expensive, but we are gonna start with one building. I think it's gonna be 10 and 11, and replace 2 of the doors,
To the outside or inside doors?
the outside doors. Yep. So that's gonna be happening too. So again, even if it means we do some things piecemeal while we don't have a ton of money. And then DHCD had notified me a while ago about they are doing some kind of a sustainability project like they're always doing, and they picked out Framingham Road as one of the places that they're going to replace our oil furnaces over there.
Really?
Yep. It's
Are they
something-
that old? How old are they?
They're a little bit over to about 10 years old, but I guess they picked out things that are around there at about 10 years old, because I actually looked it up. I'm like, those things aren't even that old. I was surprised that we were on the list, but they're supposed to they're going to replace them with more efficient fuel, you know, more efficient furnaces that are more,
Awesome.
energy efficient, and you know, use less emissions and all that kind of stuff.
There may be gas on that street.
Yeah, there may be gas. But those are oil though. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I know, but I'm saying while they're doing it, sometimes you save money with gas over oil.
You mean
Yeah.
on Framingham Road? There's gas that goes down that
I
road?
don't know. We'd have to check. I can find out easily enough.
But then you have to pay the $3,000 to do it from the road in.
Yeah,
Good point.
so I
Scratch
think,
that idea.
Oh, it's a
yeah,
good
and
thought.
that would probably be a huge thing. But
Scratch that
anyway,
idea, yeah.
um,
Yeah.
they are doing that. I also, I used that same group that I had used for Colonial Gardens that did all that tree work to clean up the backyard of Framingham Road. It was terrible over there. It was really, really overgrown with you know, it's kind of a little bit wooded in back there, and it just the vines and the trees and whatever just sort of took over what little bit of a backyard. So I had that cleared out, gave them a little bit more space over there. They did a good job. It wasn't a huge, I think it was a $500 job, but they did a good thing over there.
They're very efficient.
Yeah, I have a couple of trees over at Framingham Road that are gonna have to come down. They're huge. Last storm, just a rainstorm, a branch came down, landed on a neighbor's fence, kind of got us over there looking, and there's 2 very large trees over there that are gonna need to come down. So, I think that's kind of it for, you know, the day-to-day. Again, everything's still the same with COVID, community room still shut down. The senior center's in touch with me here and there. I did ask them, you know, how they felt about like maybe doing something around the holidays to, you know, deliver a nice lunch to people or something like that. And she said, sure, just tell her what, you know, what I'm looking for or what I want. And they definitely they can fund something like that for the tenants. So,
That's nice.
yeah. But they, you know, they check in, but they're still remote, but they'll do that too. So I think that's it.
All right, then we need a motion to accept the executive director's report.
I'll move
Gotta
to
unmute
accept.
John. Oh, there you go. All right. Do you agree, Alex?
I do.
And John?
Aye.
And myself, Nancy, agrees, so all in favor. We need to review the capital projects and payments. Or is it-
Yeah, I kind of summed all that together. I should probably just lump it together, but yep, that's everything I just told you.
Okay, so we need to make a motion to approve the payments of $14,709.42.
So moved?
I need a second.
Seconded.
Okay, and John, your vote is?
Aye.
Alex, yours is?
Aye.
And mine is yes also, so all in favor. Do we have any other business to come before the meeting?
So if you guys want to just sign those pages, you know, I know Alex, you can probably just drop them to me. Maybe you can sign checks that you guys want.
So what page was it that we have to do this on? What?
I
Of
sent
the budget?
I sent the board certifications today with just a little sticky that says sign here on a couple of pages.
Housing and finance information? Systems?
Yeah.
Oh, all right, sign that. Oh, I see that. Okay.
Yeah, there's like 3 different spots for you guys to sign. For the certifications for me to send into DHCD.
All right, and then just send them back to you?
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, there's the budget certifications and then there's the certification of the salary, certification of the financial statements, and then the federal lead paint law, which is just standard.
Okay.
And I think our next meeting, I just looked, I believe it's December 16th. Does that sound right?
Sure, sounds good to me.
So is this time okay? Or John, would you like us to push it out a half an hour for you?
Nope, this is fine. I'll just make sure to keep my laptop in the car. And,
Okay, yeah, I mean, if it's a problem,
Oh,
you
does-
know, if,
doesn't bother
with
me.
anybody, okay.
this is fine, as long as this doesn't bother you that I'm just in the dark.
Nope, whatever works.
All right.
As long as you're here, we're happy.
That's during Hanukkah. So
And-
everyone has to buy me a present.
Uh,
Well, you'll be okay. We can drop it off at your door.
Yeah.
All right, then we need to make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, so John, do you want to call me about the Chopsy things?
Yes.
Chopsy thing, okay, sounds good.
Gonna give you my best unky. I'm gonna wear dark socks and sneakers to get my final 2,000 steps in.
Really? Someone has some dark
Downstairs.
socks?
Where the hell's that coming from?
I don't know.
All right, so did someone make a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
And do I have a second?
Seconded.
And John, are you in favor?
Oh, yes, I am.
And Alex, are you in favor?
Aye.
And so is Nancy, so we all agree, unanimous vote of we'll see you in a month.
Yeah, have a nice Thanksgiving, everybody.
Thank you.
You
Take
too.
care.